I'm Stephanie, and welcome to Wine Club. This is a playlist where I drink good wine while I whine about bad books. And I'm going to be the Grinch as I'm going to review what should have been a cute holiday read, but I didn't love it. I didn't love it, no surprise, it's a romance, but ooh. I know I'm going to get some hate for this one, because I know this is a beloved author duo. But today's book is In a Holidaze by Christina Lauren. And this is my first read by Christina Lauren, and I honestly didn't fully know what to expect. I know that they tend to write romance, and I was really willing to give it a chance as it looked like an adorable Christmas time read. I like Christmas. I think this is cute. It should have been cute. So I did get this as an add-on to my December 2023 Book of the Month box. And while I didn't think like this was horrendous, nor did I hate it, it just really wasn't my cup of tea, or in my case, my glass of wine. And I have some thoughts. So, like I say in all my reviews, that this is solely about the book and not about the authors as people. Fair warning, there are also going to be spoilers in this book, but let's go ahead and see what the book promised to be about first. It's the most wonderful time of the year, but not for Maylin Jones. She's living with her parents, hates her going-nowhere job, and has just made a romantic error of epic proportions. But perhaps worst of all, this is the last Christmas May will be at her favorite place in the world, the snowy Utah cabin where she and her family have spent the holidays every year since she was born, along with two other beloved families. Mentally melting down as she drives away from the cabin for the final time, May throws out what she thinks is a simple plea to the universe. Please, show me what will make me happy. The next thing she knows, tires screech, metal collides, and everything goes black. But when May gasps awake, she's on an airplane bound for Utah, where she begins the same holiday all over again. With one hilarious disaster after another sending her back to the plane, May must figure out how to break free of the strange time loop, and finally get her true love under the mistletoe. Jam-packed with Yuletide cheer, an unforgettable cast of characters, and Christina Lauren's trademark downright hilarious hijinks, the swoon-worthy romantic read will make you believe in the power of wishes and the magic of the holidays. Well, I wish that was true, because again, I'm gonna be a Grinch. I didn't like this. As I started reading it, I actually had to flip to the copyright page to see if this was categorized as young adult, as May, our main girl, reads really young. And again, there's nothing wrong with young adult. I actually have a few young adult books that, as an adult myself, I have really enjoyed. But I expected May to be a teenager, not a 26-year-old woman. Like, the initial conflict is that May made out with Theo, who is the brother of the guy that she has a crush on, Andrew. Also, as a side note, if you didn't see my side eye to the cast of characters line, there's a huge cast of characters, some of whom might as well be stuffed animals for all that they contribute to the plot. I'm not going to go so far as to say that they could be sexy lamps, because some of them were children, so we're just not going to get into that. But to the conflict, is it just me? Making out? Making out? That's the big deal as a 26-year-old? Like, I'm trying to remember what I was like, 10 years ago? And if I would think that this was a big deal. I mean, yeah, it's not great as she wants Andrew and kissed his brother, but it's not like they did it. It wasn't a relationship, like there was no love between the two of them. And Andrew knows that his brother Theo is kind of a dick and will make out with anyone given the chance. I get that the aspect could be embarrassing for May, but she just makes such a big deal about it, and it kind of just made me laugh. Like, it's a kid, like, you just made out. I don't know. Maybe I'm the weird one. I mean, that could very well be the case here, because I'm the weird one in a lot of situations. And all be all, May comes across as quite immature, is what I'm saying. And I'm still unsure of why May has a bazillion nicknames in this book. No one has that many freaking nicknames. She's Noodle, she's Mayday, She's called everything but Mei-Lin her name. By the time the 5th nickname was dropped into a conversation, it took all of my self-control to not slam this book shut. It's not characterization, it's annoying. So anyway, we then get the time loop element, and I really wish that more had been done with that. We really only get, I think there are like 3 times when time resets. And if this is a TV show and you're strapped for time, that works, I understand. But this is a book. Like, we could have had a few more loops and some of the holiday shenanigans. Now, I did actually enjoy the scenes where time resets and Mei wakes up at the plane, flailing around, acting like a fool. That was pretty funny. But there were times that I couldn't understand why time was resetting, and resetting so violently. Like, it seems like Mei has to die for time to reset, which is kind of a big yikes. But then it's also the universe interfering to kill her with like a tree branch snapping off and a car crash. The car crash scene really threw me for a loop because Mei is practically screaming into the void about how the universe is warning her, but girl, the people in the cars might be hurt. I guess in this book, like, the world literally does revolve around Mei. Like, shitty that it had to cause an accident and harm others to get her attention. Aspects like that felt really out of place for a cute romance book. I mean, this cover, it's pretty cute, but I don't know. Some of the violence felt like a real big tonal shift. There was also this bit of what I would consider bad writing, as in one of the loops, Andrew basically gives us the casting call of all the characters. We are literally told about all the other characters in the book, their character traits, and their backgrounds, and I hated it. Find a more natural way to weave that into the story. Now, a good thing, I did like Mei for the most part. Again, did not love her immaturity, but she was overall a very good person, and I appreciated that. She was good at her core, and that was nice to have someone like that to root for. Andrew was something. Like, he is presented as the perfect man, ridiculously so. He is the most amazing man to ever walk out of the Garden of Eden. Like, I thought he was a bit white bread myself, but I guess to each their own. I'm glad him and Mei-Lin apparently seem to enjoy each other. But then Andrew's character kind of flies off the rails when Mei confides in him about the time loop thing and tells him what happened with Theo. And Andrew loses his goddamn mind over it. Like, dude, you are 29 years old, and the fact that your little girlfriend just told you that she is reliving the same day. Time is resetting itself. Like, I don't know, priorities? Do we got them? And the worst part is, when she tells him this, it's not his version of reality. It didn't happen anymore. And she obviously regrets it. He acts like a toddler with his temper tantrum and is all, I'm driving home and giving you the silent treatment. Like, at this point, I kind of just wanted Mei to leave him in a pile of snow or beat him over the head with a shovel. Like, grow up, Andrew. But nope, she ends up engaged to him 6 months later in the epilogue. Which, really? 6 months? Like, I think it would have been stronger to have him propose at Christmas a year later. But you do you, Andrew. But at the same time, seeing as you two both act like 13-year-olds, maybe you should be together as a couple a little bit longer before getting married. But on that note, I don't understand their relationship. Like, I did not get the sense that he was interested in her before she told him how she felt. I didn't feel the chemistry, and I didn't feel that Andrew had been, like, harboring these deep feelings for her, and finally got his Christmas wish too by her admitting that she likes him. He finds out, and then they bang. And the intimate scenes were fine, but it just felt very jarring for them to be somewhat in-depth when the initial conflict is around the juvenile making out problem. And then it's basically just spicy scenes and tearing off each other's clothes and almost getting caught. And this is the most wonderful thing to ever happen, but we can't tell our family about it just to create pointless drama. Their family would have been excited about it. Ugh. Like, really, May becomes a serious drama llama when the family does find out. Again, am I supposed to believe that she is a fully functioning adult? So the fam finds out, and she is all, "Universe, get me out of this nightmare." Girl, this is what you wanted. This is what you asked the universe for. God, May, you're so stupid. And that leads me to my biggest issue with this book. What was the main message or theme? Like, the entire time, it seemed like it was pushing the message that change is good. May needs to learn to let go of certain things that don't make her happy, as well as to learn to let go of things that do, because sometimes we have to let go of things we love in order to move on and change. It's called sacrifice. She was learning to become her true self and let go of caring about what others think about what she does with her own life, and making her own choices for her, not to please the other people in her family that don't have to live with the consequences. But then that theme kind of just goes up in flames. Like, they end up keeping the cabin and they keep coming back and doing the same thing. So I get that it's a very Hallmark happy ending, but it felt like the theme was building up to this thing and then it just crumbled and disintegrated. There's also this whole like subplot with May and her job, and I feel like May mentioned her job as a thing she didn't like about her life. Just because we never go in depth into that topic until after like page 100. It just felt like Christina and Lauren wanted May to have depth, or felt like her and Andrew getting together wasn't enough to trigger the time loop, but it's all that they really care about. It's not like Groundhog Day, where May has to become a better person to deserve Andie MacDowell. She's already a good person. And the job portion just felt really tacked on. Especially the resolution we get, where she just quits her job and then lands this perfectly fabulous job in the Denver area. No, May, leave my city. Please, I don't want you here. And again, that just begs the question of, what is this book's focus on? Like, at the end of the day, it's a romance. Just focus on May and Andrew. We know that's what the book is about. Focus on it. Even though, again, their relationship kind of sucks. I didn't see it. I didn't get them together. I will say I did have a good laugh when May is all, "I'm going to buy this Park City cabin." Did I miss the scene where she won the lottery? How in the hell is she going to come up with a down payment on a multi-million-dollar property? Like, obviously, this character Benny, who has a lot of money, is going to buy it. Like, the whole scene of May acting like a white knight and talking about buying the place was hilarious and ultimately pointless. Again, I'm a Grinch. I wanted to enjoy this. I don't go into any book knowing I'm going to hate it. I mean, well, there might be a few authors that I'm not expecting to like it, but I went into this totally blind and totally open to it, but ultimately I found myself bored. Sometimes I do wonder why I am the way that I am. Why must I be the Grinch instead of Buddy the Elf? I wanted a cute Christmas read. I wanted to be super excited by this, but I'm not really. On another good note, I really do love Benny's character. He was the best person in this book, by far. Best person. I think another really positive thing about this was the nostalgia that this made me feel. Like when May was talking about her family traditions, especially wanting to decorate the tree, but realizing that it's time to let like the next generation of, I think, cousins or nieces or nephews, but letting them do that really hit home for me. It really made me feel and made me think of the Christmases of my own childhood. And like, I could feel those sections in my heart, and I guess my little Grinchy heart grew 3 sizes. Praise Satan. I do think there were some good moments in this, but overall, this just didn't do it for me as a cute Christmas romance. I still did end up giving this 3 stars. It's a pretty middle of the road read, but definitely not something that I will need to reread every holiday season like I do with Christmas Shopaholic. There's nothing seriously wrong with this, but there was nothing that I really loved either, or would recommend this as a read. So help me this year and grow my little Grinchy heart by recommending some Christmas time books that you absolutely love. Please leave your recommendations in the comments so I can run out and get a copy. Otherwise, thanks for joining me at Wine Club.